Hi everyone, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you're watching me from. I want to welcome you to Hot Topics with David. Here we talk about issues that touches the heart of humanity. And today I want to talk about the case of a young man by the name of Segun Olowookere, who was sentenced to death for stealing or for allegedly stealing a chicken and some couple of eggs. Very pathetic and very, very heartbreaking. I'm sure you will agree with me. But how can somebody be sentenced to death by hanging for stealing just a mere chicken and a couple of eggs? And when I heard the story, I was like, this is really unbelievable. This is just pathetic and disgusting. Now, this case or this incident happened in Osun State, southwest part of Nigeria, in 2010, where Segun Olowookere was actually accused by the Nigerian police force together with some of his friends. At that time, they were still, school children, still attending secondary school. They were accused of stealing this chicken and this couple of eggs that belongs to a police officer. And the police came after them, just like as if they were armed robbers or kidnappers or people who have committed very terrible offense, perhaps like murderers. Now, some of Segun's friends ran away because they knew that if the police had gotten hold of them, they would have bastardized them, they would have beaten them up in the police cell, they would have, pressured them under duress to confess to a crime that they did not commit. So they ran away, not because they were guilty, but because they knew that the fear of the Nigerian police is the beginning of wisdom. But Segun stood his ground, saying to his parents that, why would I run when I hadn't committed any crime or any offense? Not knowing that that will lead to the beginning of a very horrible ordeal or experience for him and for his parents. He happened to be the only son of his parents. The parents said to him, run away, but he said, no, I wasn't going to run away. So when the police came, they took hold of him and they took him to the police station, where his parents were asked to go and look for 30,000 naira if they want their son to be released. But unfortunately, because the parents were poor, they were unable to come up with the 30,000 naira. They only came up with 20,000 naira. And eventually the police still arraigned him before a judge. And the judge sentenced him to death by hanging. And when I looked at this case, I asked myself, what sort of a judge is this? But on the second thought, because I knew that the Nigerian police force are full of criminals, I'm not saying that there are no good officers. There are good officers, but there are also very bad eggs within the Nigerian police force. People who would accuse you of committing a crime that you never committed, just because of what they stand to benefit. And I began to think, could this police officer who accused the boys of stealing his chicken and the eggs, could they have bribed the judge to influence the outcome of the judgment in his favor? Or because the police, knowing fully well that if they had brought the case of the fowl and the eggs before the judge, perhaps the judge will have thrown away the case. And because they didn't want the judge to throw away the case, they had to come up with something. And my conviction was that perhaps they might have prepared the case where they might have lied against the boy that, oh, he was perhaps a member of an armed robbery gang who had been involved in robbing banks and ended up killing innocent individuals. Because I wouldn't understand why a judge in his right senses, who is truly a judge, if he's not a corrupt judge, will sentence a boy for stealing chicken and eggs to death by hanging. Because death by hanging is a capital punishment that is only meted out to murderers, to terrorists, to arsonists, and the likes. Not even those who are stealing the wealth of Nigeria in trillions, not even those who are stealing billions of naira, billions of dollars, have ever been seen to be sentenced to death by hanging or death by firing squad. It has never happened in the history of Nigeria. So how come this boy, 17-year-old boy, was not being sentenced to death by hanging just because of a chicken and a couple of eggs? Now, when Dele Farotimi wrote about the book Nigeria and its criminal justice system, perhaps it wasn't in July 2024. It wasn't actually popular then. But this book became very popular when Dele Farotimi was arrested by, the personal chief, Afe Babalola, who accused Dele Farotimi of defamation of character in that book. And what was Dele Farotimi writing about? He was writing about the rot, the decay, the high level of bribery and corruption within the Nigerian judiciary. A system where justice is no longer to be dependent upon. A system where justice, a system where there's no equity, a system where there's no fairness, a system where the common man cannot go to the courts to seek redress for anything done against him. A system that has been skewed against the common man. A system that only works in favor of criminals within Nigeria. A system that protects the interests of criminal lords, politicians, pen robbers who call themselves politicians, who steal our money in billions and in trillions, who hide away such money in foreign bank accounts, who buys properties in the UK, in the US, in Europe, at the expense of Nigerians. Pen robbers who have subjected Nigerians to untold hardship. Because money meant for developmental purposes had been stolen and is still being stolen. And is being siphoned out of the country. And yet, none of these people has ever been jailed. Even when they are accused and they are arraigned before the court, the law court, the court has become, has become a lame duck that they can't do anything to these people. Because once these people are able to bribe the judges, then judgment is given in their favor. Yet, here's a boy, 17 years old, being sentenced to death by hanging in 2010. Today is 2024, 14 years since the boy was sentenced. He is still in jail. Very, very pathetic. When I heard this story, it brought me to realize that what Dele Farotimi was talking about in his book was actually very true. The reality of the Nigerian judicial system. The corrupt malpractices. The judges with their big pot belly and their fat cheek. Judges who have been so fed with their ill-gotten wealth that they can't even think properly with their head. Judges who are wearing some dirty, stinking black gown and white wig, who hide under these dirty, evil clothing, and you're giving out, judgment that destroys the life of young men. I'm not saying that there are no good judges. There are good judges. But however, there are a lot of bad eggs within the judicial system. Do we really have a judicial system in Nigeria? No, we don't. Because our judicial system is just only there to serve the interest of the executive arm of government, just as the legislative arm is also there to serve the interest of the executive arm of government. So the judiciary and the legislature are just a rubber stamp of the desires of the executive. So whatever anyone within the executive arm of government does, and they are brought before the court of law, the court of law simply frees them because they wouldn't see anything wrong in whatever they've done. Unfortunately, that is the reality of the Nigerian judicial system. That Segun Olowookere and many, many more who are languishing in prisons, in jails in Nigeria, have become a victim of. The police, who should do the work of fighting against crime, are not really fighting against crime. All that they are doing is running errands for the thieving politicians, running errands for these demons in suit and agbada, terrorizing the common man on the street. There are so many. It is pathetic. It is disgusting to know that there are so many young men with great future who are languishing in Nigerian jail just for something petty crime. Some of them have been forgotten in jail for 15 years, 20 years. Their lives have been wasted away. Their future has been destroyed. Tell me, what can these young men do when they come out of this jail? Their life is messed up. So Segun Olowookere is just one out of the thousands of young men out there who have been incarcerated for crime that they should not have been incarcerated in the first place. I just hope that with the expose in Dele Farotimi's book, Nigeria and its criminal justice system, something would change within that judicial system. Something would change so that Nigerians will begin to see a change that will benefit them. Something would change so that Nigerians will begin to experience true justice. It is indeed pathetic. But if nothing changes, then the rot will continue to be experienced over and over again. I just want to say shout out to the lady Abiola Adebayo, who interviewed the parent of Segun Olowookere, that brought this matter to the knowledge of the active governor of Osun State, Abiola Adeleke, who are taking the bull by the horn to tell his officers, investigate this matter because this boy must be granted leniency and pardon after 14 years. Segun Olowookere is 31 years today. But fortunately for him, he was able to study while he was in prison, and he studied medicine. Perhaps he will come out and still have something to fall back on. But how about the thousands of young men out there in prison who were not opportune to learn any skill, to learn any trade, who are still languishing out there? How about the thousands of these young men who do not have somebody to fight for them to be released? Perhaps some of them may end up dying in prison without their family ever seeing them again. That is the unfortunate situation that the Nigerian justice system has plunged a lot of young men. Yet, criminals like Yaya Bello, criminals like Idris Sirika, criminals are walking around the street of Abuja, the street of Lagos, the streets of London, the streets of Kano, Kaduna, Sokoto. They are walking about the streets freely without being jailed. Even after Yaya Bello was known to have stolen over 100 billion naira, and Idris Sirika was known to have siphoned millions of dollars, deceiving Nigerians that there will be Air Nigeria. Yet these people are not being brought before the law courts. I can only hope that someday there will be a change. Please do like this video, share this video to your friends. Perhaps somebody can learn one thing or the other, and comment in this video. And also please do subscribe to this channel as a way of encouraging us to bring you more content. And like I said, I will put the link for Daily Pharaoh TV's book on Amazon at the bottom of this page. And I'll also put the link for the video by Abiola Adebayo at the bottom as well, so you can go and watch the full interview given by Segun Olowookere's parents, so they can understand the emotional trauma, the psychological trauma that they have been through over the last 14 years that their son was incarcerated. Once again, thank you for your time. Thank you for watching. Please do like, comment, share this video, and subscribe to this channel. Thank you so much. Until I see you again, stay blessed